So we have gotten to day 10 in our Break the Habit Over 40 challenge. So today I read an article in behavioralscience.org, and Eyal wrote an article titled, "To Change a Habit, Get Extreme, Progressively." I'll put the link in the description. And it really reminded me of the tiny step evolution that I talk about in so many of my other videos, the non-habit ones, and how tiny, tiny steps create lasting and huge change in our lives. So while reading this, he says progressive extremism, quote, works particularly well in situations in which substituting one habit for another just won't do. So while reading this really reminded me of my sugar habit. So sugar is something I've apparently been using progressive extremism on, or my tiny step evolution, and just slowly trying to work it out of my experience. So about a year or two ago, I stopped buying sweets because 9 times out of 10, if we don't have them in the house, I'm not gonna go somewhere and go get them, 9 times out of 10. And then the next step in that was finding replacements for things that I actually use sugar in. So I found natural sweeteners like blue agave and coconut sugar works in my coffee because I have to have it in my coffee. Gotta have some sweetness. And they're fine. I have adjusted to them and they work and they're healthy. So these little progressive steps get us to that extreme of not having it in our lives anymore. And that's the intention for me with sugar later on. So what's your habit that you can't just get rid of all of a sudden, and you don't have like a good habit that you can replace it with, but that you just like, I really want to move this out of my life? Now, what is one tiny step that you can do to get to that moment? One small thing. You don't have to cut sugar out or cut sodas out, but maybe on Mondays you don't have them. You know, maybe on the weekends, that's the only time that you allow yourself to have this. Or maybe you just cut out candy bars or cookies. Maybe just one little thing. What can you do? Drop it in the comments. Let me know. And I'm going to put the playlist to this Break the Habit Over 40 challenge in the description. So you can see, or you can save it, and you can check out my daily videos on how to have tools to change habits in our lives. We're never too old to change something in our lives, even if we've done it for 40 years or more. And then like and subscribe if you want to see more content like this, because I'm doing this with you during the holidays. So if I can do it, I know you can do it. All right, I'll see you next time. Bye.